So you've got plans to hit up the Golden Corral. Well, here are my tips, tricks, hints, and suggestions on how to make the most out of your trip to the Trough. Now, surprisingly, I don't go to the Golden Corral very often, usually about once or twice a year. But when I do it right. Now, if you're going to have a good time at Golden Corral, it's important to manage your expectations. Is it a lot of different foods, a huge smorgasbord of variety and all you can eatness? Absolutely. Is all the food going to be good? Absolutely not. Is it a good deal for the price? For sure. Will you see a large family having a gathering at the Golden Corral? Most likely. Will you see one lone customer in a corner shame eating by himself? Also, very likely. What's not likely is that anybody having a meal there will be capable of having intercourse later that evening. That's why it's important to set expectations and boundaries. Sometimes you just got to tell your old lady, like, look, I know you got in the car thinking we were going to go eat a big meal, and then afterwards we'd go home and have the horizontal hokey pokey, but it's just not going to be possible. I'm only a man. I'm not a machine. I can't have post corral coitus. There's never been a single child that's ever been conceived after a visit to Golden Corral. It's just not humanly possible. So you just got to tell her, put it out of mind. Maybe in a couple weeks, we'll see what happens. Now, when you get in there, you got to pay up front because I reckon they've been burned a few times. So you pay up front, you select your drink. Time of day is important. I recommend getting there about 3:45 because if you get there about 3:45, 4 o'clock's when they switch over to dinner. And if you're already in there, you just get grandfathered in. So show up then. That's the perfect time. But, the lunch buffet's cheap. It's a good deal, but it's not a lot of great stuff on there. Really, you want to go and spend the extra $3 or $4 and go at dinner because that's where you got your steaks, your seafood, your more premium items on the buffet. They kind of put the B squad out at lunch. And as for breakfast, I've never really been up in time to see breakfast at Golden Corral. It's like the sunrise. I've never seen it. I'd also like to say this. If you're not cooking for Thanksgiving, Golden Corral does throw down a pretty good Thanksgiving Day buffet for the price. So you can go in there and you can eat a lot of food and watch other families fight. Let's start with our first plate. There's many ways to skin this cat, but the way to go about it for sure is to start with your more expensive items. So go right over to that grill and that spot where they're carving up meats. You get the steak, you get the prime rib, the ham, the turkey, whatever they have over there, what have you. That's the more expensive stuff. They're gatekeeping it for a reason, all right? They know what they got. They're sitting on top guarding it, all right? Don't be intimidated. You get yourself a plate full. Now, what I like to do is I like to go over to the cold stuff and get some butter and a little blue cheese, and I put it on top of my steaks. So, I'm just throwing that out there for you because I know how to eat right. Also, the brown gravy's pretty good on a steak as well. Always remember, at a buffet, premium meats and seafood first. Now, this may come as a surprise, but for my second plate, I like to hit up the salad bar at Golden Corral. Golden Corral has a pretty extensive salad bar. They got pretty much everything you'd want to put on a salad. You can make yourself one of those really good chef salads. One of those salads that kind of borders on not really being a salad anymore because you put too much junk on it. Yeah, that's what I like to do. And you're going to need all that lettuce and those vegetables to keep everything moving. Trust me. Now, for my third plate, I like to move on to secondary Corral favorites. If you still want to keep eating steak, by all means, go for it. But sometimes it's nice to add some other things to the plate. I like to get some pot roast, some meatloaf, fried chicken, the pulled pork, some bourbon street chicken. Always a Corral favorite. Your more protein items, some ribs, just see what they got over there. Maybe a little fish. Make yourself a nice plate. Explore the space. The chopped steak, the chicken wing, the fried chicken, the meatloaf, something like this. You know what I'm saying? A little pot roast, a little fried okra, some potatoes on the side. It's your world, man. Now, after you've been around the block about 3 or 4 times, feel free to run wild. Put whatever you want on there. All those side items that fill you up easy. The yams, the yam casserole, the macaroni. Get some more of that meatloaf, some more of that Bourbon Street chicken. Whatever you want to do, man. Just do you, man. Life is short, man. I just will say, at Golden Corral, they do make a pretty bitchin' yam casserole, so make sure you get some of that. That's one of my favorite items. Now, at a certain point, you're going to start feeling a little tight in the tummy. You're going to feel like a farm animal that ate a bunch of slop, because you are and you did. And you might feel a little bubbly, little bubble guts. Hold it in, all right? Let me give you some advice. The bathroom at Golden Corral is a nightmare. Also, before you throw in the towel, make sure you get one of those yeast rolls with the honey spread. Those yeast rolls that are all buttery and they glisten in the light like a sweaty preacher. Now it's time to unlock that fourth stomach and head over to the dessert bar. A lot of good desserts at Golden Corral. Most buffets not very solid on the desserts, but Golden Corral has a few great options there. Some decent pies, some decent cakes, some cookies, some brownies, and they got ice cream and cotton candy, which is pretty dope. Now, I personally like to make a little ice cream sundae. I get one of the fudge brownies. I put some ice cream on top, bunch of toppings, but the hot fudge, it never comes out, right? They never have any hot fudge in that little dispenser. I hate it. One piece of advice I will give is avoid that chocolate fountain at all cost. There ain't nothing but boogers and Band-Aids floating around in that chocolate. You don't want to eat that. You're eating at Golden Corral. That's bad enough, but don't lower yourself to eat out of the chocolate fountain. Please. You're a human being. You deserve better. And that concludes my Golden Corral tutorial.